So you guys probably think my diet is super strict because I stay around 10% body fat year round, but that's not completely true. In fact, my diet is pretty relaxed. I actually eat the foods that I enjoy on a daily basis like desserts, chocolates. However, I just make sure to track them so that I'm not eating in a calorie surplus. You see, flexible dieting takes away the need for me to go on a binge for 2 to 3 days straight. Now saying this, there are certain foods that I will never eat again and probably shouldn't have eaten when I was on a diet and trying to lose fat. To me, these foods aren't great when it comes to building muscle or losing fat. Now, I'm not demonizing any of these foods. I'm just giving you my opinion and letting you know how I felt when I was consuming them. So you can choose to take my advice or carry on eating these foods. But for me, they were pretty detrimental to my health and for fat loss. So here are the 8 foods that I wish I never had in my diet and will probably never have again in the future. So let's get into it. So number 1 is regular sodas, or fizzy drinks as we like to say in the UK. Now it's not food, but it's still calories. So regular sodas, in my opinion, are not great when it comes to fat loss and are actually proven to be bad for brain health. So I used to drink a lot of sodas. Like I used to have 2 to 3 Coca-Cola cans every single day. Now at that point in time, I didn't really understand how bad it was for you until I saw the amount of added sugar it contains, 39 grams. Now this honestly completely put me off these drinks. I mean, just the amount of added sugar is ridiculous. No wonder why so many people are hooked on these. Now I want to go a little bit deeper and take a look at something else these sodas contain, and that is high fructose corn syrup. Now, high fructose corn syrup is associated with obesity and type 2 diabetes. For example, one study in men and women with excess weight showed that drinking sucrose-sweetened soda for 6 months significantly increased liver fat compared to drinking milk, diet soda, or water. In the long term, liver fat accumulation can lead to serious health problems such as fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes. Now, moving on from obesity and weight gain, there was another study showing that high fructose corn syrup significantly impaired the brain, memory, learning, and the ability to solve tasks, whereas sucrose, so regular sugar, mildly affected the brain. So it's not just the sugar that's bad for you in regular sodas, but it's also the high fructose corn syrup. So sugar adds calories, but it also increases your hunger hormone ghrelin, so it makes you crave even more sugar. And this can lead to overeating and therefore lead to weight gain. And if you combine sucrose with high fructose corn syrup, it's really not a good combo, and that's why I completely stay away from these regular sodas, and I wish I had when I was younger. And I always refer regular sodas to empty calories because they have no nutritional content that's going to be good for your health or for fat loss. If you're trying to lose fat and you're in a calorie deficit, then you're just going to be wasting your calories by having a soda. You'd rather consume something more satiating with a higher nutritional value, for example, lean protein or non-processed carbs. This will be much better for you when it comes to fat loss and building muscle mass. And if you do really require something sweet to drink, then diet or 0-calorie sodas are a much better alternative. There's no added sugar, it's just sweeteners like aspartame. And before some of you say our sweeteners are bad for you, if you have 100 of them a day, then yes, they're going to be bad. But if you consume 1 or less than 1 a day, then they won't do much. Moving on to number 2, which are crisps. Now, crisps are just a gateway food. They're something that you snack on when you're hungry or bored, like Doritos, Walkers, or Monster Munch. Now, crisps are made up of potatoes, and potatoes aren't really that bad for you, but the problem comes when they are deep fried in either vegetable oil or soybean oil. So frying food in these oils are associated with health risks such as obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Not to mention, fried potato chips are made with preservatives, dyes, and all of these artificial things that are linked to cancers. In fact, they feed the cancers. They also contain refined carbohydrates and sugars, so if you cut back on eating them, you'll most likely feel better. One other major problem is that when crisps are made, the nutrient value of the potato degrades because it's continuously heated in the deep fryer at high temperatures. So again, you're basically consuming worthless calories because they contain no nutrient value whatsoever. Now, you can get through packets of potato chips very easily. I used to have 3-4 packets a day. Now, not the big ones, but the small ones. But even that was around 500 to 600 calories. I just used to keep eating them because they light up your hunger hormones. Now, if you continue to eat potato chips on a consistent basis, you're not going to make much progress. And that's why I completely stopped eating them, and I'll probably never have them again. A better alternative would be to have something like rice cakes or something that isn't deep fried in these oils so you don't get the health risks. So number 3 is granola. Now, granola used to be my favorite breakfast. I used to eat it all the time. Granola is highly addictive because it contains a lot of sugars and a lot of fats. Food companies label granola as healthy compared to other cereals like Fruit Loops or Cocoa Pops because it contains oats. However, granola is probably just as bad, if not worse for you, because the carbs it contains is just mostly sugars. There's nothing else to it, just sugars and fats. So back in the day when I was younger, I used to consume granola for breakfast thinking that it was healthy because, that's what these big chain food companies want us to believe. However, once you read the back of the label, you understand why I'll probably never consume this again. You see, if you're having granola first thing in the morning, then you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Granola has a lot more calories per 100 grams than you probably realize. And if you're having that amount of sugar first thing in the morning, then you're going to have a major crash later in the day because it will give you a massive spike in your blood glucose, giving you a big burst of energy, but then you'll have a major crash later. I also used to snack on granola whenever I felt hungry, which was a mistake. I literally used to go to the cupboard and start eating them one by one because they're so highly addictive. However, this would just add calories to my diet, and I would think I was eating healthy, but I really wasn't. I was just adding more and more calories to my diet, so I'll be in a calorie surplus by the end of the day. Now, a better idea would be to have a breakfast with more protein and less refined sugars, like this breakfast shake, or something like eggs and avocado on toast. So number 4 is mayonnaise. Now, whenever I needed to add in some quick fats to my diet, I would have mayonnaise because it's simple, quick, and easy to add to foods without wasting time. However, I soon realized all mayonnaise is soybean oil that's been living on a shelf forever. Soybean oil is made up of polyunsaturated fats. Now, polyunsaturated fats by itself is not that harmful, but when they are oxidized, that's when the problem occurs. So these oils that are high in polyunsaturated fats are susceptible to oxidation, both on the shelf and inside your body. When they start oxidizing, they start degrading, and then they form harmful compounds, and that can cause cell damage in your body. So if you are to ask me, why consume something if studies show that's going to be detrimental to your health in the long run? I don't know. And yes, one of the ingredients in mayonnaise is also eggs. So you may say it's healthy, but let me tell you, eggs only make up a small percentage of mayonnaise. The rest is soybean oil and a bunch of other ingredients. When I started to actually understand what kind of fats I need to eat, instead of adding anything to my diet to get my fats up, that's when I realized all mayonnaise is a calorie bomb that doesn't really have any taste. You're just adding something with a bit of a saucy texture to your food, but that has a ton of calories. Now, if you enjoy traditional mayonnaise, then by all means put it in your food. But I just know that there are much better alternatives out there that don't contain oils that oxidize. So in my opinion, if you're in a calorie deficit, would the calories be better saved for something else? Probably. So next on the list is cereal. Now, cereal is similar to granola. All it contains is sugars and fats. For example, you have Frosties, Cocoa Pops, and Fruit Loops. Now, I don't know about you, but I've had enough of these big chain food companies promoting cereal, telling kids cereal is good to eat, it's good for your health. Now, this is all just bullshit. I kind of sound like Eddie Apple right now, but it's true. We get brainwashed into thinking that cereal is good for us, it's healthy, it gives us energy for the day. You see, food production have manipulated salt, sugar, and fats to make products like cereal hard to resist. Now, I was a victim to cereals. I used to have it every single morning. I used to love them, and I know a lot of kids and many adults love them too. Now, I'm going to be blunt, but it's not the best thing to have first thing in the morning because they consume a lot of sugar, and you know what happens if you have a lot of sugar in the morning. You get a sugar rush and you have a burst of energy, but then you have a massive crash throughout the rest of the day. So studies show that overeating processed foods like breakfast cereals contributes to obesity and cardiometabolic risk factors in children and adults. Also, the Consumers Association research found that 85 out of 100 branded cereals contained a lot of sugar and 40% a lot of salt when measured against Food Standards Agency criteria. In my opinion, a much better way to start the day would be to have carbs with a lot less sugar or natural sugars and some protein and some healthy fats. This having cereals every morning for breakfast is just a massive scam where big pharma want to make money from you, get you sick, and then make even more money from you. When it comes to health and nutrition, just stick to the basic whole foods. That's going to be the best for you. For example, every morning I just eat oats. I stick to whole oats with less sugar, less refined carbs, and more fiber. So number 6 is peanut butter that contains seed oils. Now, peanut butter is just another calorie bomb like mayonnaise. It contains a lot of fats and a lot of seed oils. Many companies that make peanut butter use palm oils. Now, the issue with palm oils is that it's high in saturated fats, which has been linked to long-term heart disease. Saturated fats boost bad cholesterol and triglycerides, both of which are factors to heart disease. So I remember years ago, I used to eat peanut butter when I was trying to lose weight. I used to have it as a snack. I used to take a spoonful of peanut butter, put some honey on it, and just eat it, and it was actually quite nice. But again, it was just a calorie bomb and added unnecessary calories to my diet. Now, I know a lot of people use peanut butter as a spread for pancakes or on bread, but in my opinion, there are much better spreads to use that are much lower in fats and higher in protein. For example, this grenade spread right here. Got a lot less fats, a lot less calories, and higher in protein. Now, many people, when they are on a bulk, they include peanut butter to their diet because it's easy calories to consume. And it's come about because of bodybuilders that have included it into their diets. But just because they have it in their diet doesn't mean it's healthy. In my opinion, there are much better alternatives to have for fats and calories, like salmon, avocado, or eggs. But if you really need to have peanut butter for whatever reason, then I recommend to have the organic peanut butter that doesn't contain these palm oils. They're a bit more expensive, but they're better than the cheap alternatives. Number 7 is margarine. So margarine is created by taking an oil and artificially turning it into a solid. It's hydrogenated oils containing a lot of trans fats. The first problem with trans fats is that it can take up to 50 days for your body to completely break them down. And secondly, is that there's a lot of evidence out there stating how consumption of trans fats can lead to increased visceral fat percentage in your body. So visceral fat is the fat that wraps around your organs in your belly deep inside you. It can surround your liver, intestines, stomach, and other internal organs. So having too much visceral fat isn't good for you. It comes with a lot of health risks such as heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. So if you're using a lot of margarine when you're cooking, so use it to cook food, and you have more than 2 grams of trans fats per day, then this can make you put on a lot of visceral fats. And this is really not going to help when it comes to losing weight and getting lean. For me, there are much better alternatives out there that you can use, much better and healthier alternatives such as butter, ghee, and even coconut oil. And the final food is sweets or candy. Now, I'm not talking about chocolates and things like that. I'm talking about actual candy, so pure refined sugar. So during my early and late teens, I used to have a lot of sweets. And by a lot, I mean a lot. Like, majority of my calories just came from sweets. And all sorts of sweets, so like Stardust, Haribos, and Mentos. I was honestly addicted, and still to this day I have a massive sweet tooth, and I believe it's because I just used to eat a lot of sweets back in the day. Now, getting addicted to candy and sweets at an early age is not a good thing, as it can carry on in your elder years. If I didn't learn about nutrition in my early 20s, then I'll probably be still eating sweets, and I'll probably have a lot of health issues and gum and teeth problems as well. There's so much research out there stating how bad sugar is for your health and if you want to lose weight. In a study published in 2014, people who consumed a high sugar diet had a greater risk of dying from heart disease. Over the course of the 15-year study, people who got 17 to 21% of their calories from added sugar had a 38% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease compared to those who consumed 8% of their calories as added sugar. Basically, the higher the intake of added sugar, the higher the risk of heart disease. You see, high amounts of sugar overload the liver. Your liver metabolizes sugar the same way as alcohol and converts dietary carbohydrates to fats. And over time, this can lead to a greater accumulation of fat, which in turn can lead to fatty liver disease, which is contributed to diabetes, and therefore increase the risk of heart disease. Now, I'm not saying to completely cut out sugar because that's near enough impossible. Flexible dieting where you eat chocolates and desserts on occasion is completely fine, because that's what I do. However, if you're just consuming pure sugar, so candy and sweets, then in my opinion, this is not going to be good, because that's going to make you very addicted to eating sugar all the time. And therefore you're going to overload your calories and gain weight instead of lose the weight. And plus, pure sugar is just wasted calories, and that's probably why I'll never eat things like candy and sweets again. So guys, those are the 8 foods that I wish I never had in my diet. And if I actually didn't have those foods in my diet when I was younger, I'd probably be a lot healthier than I am right now. And if you do eliminate or reduce those foods, then I'm telling you guys, you'll progress a lot faster when it comes to building muscle and losing fat. And guys, if you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, then do me a favor and smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel and you like my content, then do me another favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications, because I'm releasing a video every single week just like this and you don't want to miss them. And if you want to know my top 10 weight loss tips to get shredded, then I recommend watching this video next. And remember, stay natty, stay clean, and peace.